You hit a token limit mid-document and your whole pipeline stalls. That's the moment Kimi K3 and Claude stop feeling like equals. One of them lets you load 1,000,000 tokens right now, no gating, no premium tier required. Kimi K3 is built for scale and transparency. Claude is built for careful, safety-first reasoning. And which one actually fits your workflow is what I've got the data to answer. Test 1. Context window and long document handling. The objection I hear a lot is that 200K tokens is plenty, and it is. Right up until you're loading a full codebase or a 400-page legal doc and the model just cuts you off. That hard stop costs you a full re-architecture of your prompt and sometimes hours of debugging to figure out what got dropped. I looked at both context specs side by side, and Kimi K3 gives you 1,000,000 tokens as the standard. No tier gating, no surcharge. Claude's 1M option is locked behind usage tier 4 with premium pricing, so most builders never actually get it. On top of that, Kimi's automatic caching hits a 92% hit rate on coding workloads, meaning repeated long document queries get way cheaper fast. Kimi K3 takes context window cleanly. A flat-priced 1,000,000 tokens versus a gated premium tier option is pretty much a one-sided call, and I didn't expect the caching gap to be this wide either. That puts Kimi K3 up 1-0, and that cache hit rate is the number that surprised me most on this whole card. I only caught that caching detail because I live inside these tools every single day. So let me know in the comments if that token wall has ever wrecked a project for you. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Test 2. Real-time web search, and the number that should make you pay attention is 0.04 bars per search invocation. That sounds tiny until you're running a research agent that fires off hundreds of calls a day, and your bill comes back way bigger than you planned. And if you can't see the per call cost upfront, you just can't budget for it. Both Kimi K3 and Claude have web search tools, so availability isn't the gap here. Kimi K3 bills you 0.04 OR per invocation, which is transparent and plannable. But Claude Search is built in with citations and domain filtering, and I went looking for a publicly documented per call cost and came up empty, so you're flying blind on the budget side, and that's a real problem if you're running this at scale. The honest caveat is that Claude's domain filtering is a real feature Kimi K3 doesn't publicly match, so if you need to lock your agent to specific trusted sources, that matters. But for most builders, knowing exactly what each search call costs beats having a polished filter you can't price out. So Kimi K3's transparency is the more useful advantage right now. Web search is a split. Both tools have it, the feature sets just cut differently, and I can't score a winner without verified cost data from Claude's side. Score stays Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 1 tied. Test 3. Reasoning depth and complex problem solving. I was skeptical when I saw Kimi K3 always runs in thinking mode, because burning over 13,000 extra tokens on a short task sounds like a cost disaster waiting to happen, especially if you're running high-volume pipelines where every extra token adds up to real dollars by end of month. When I looked at both reasoning setups, Kimi K3 runs 3 effort levels: standard, high, and max. And it's always in thinking mode, so yes, it can burn 13K plus thinking tokens on a short task, and that inflates cost. Claude's extended thinking is tunable via prompts and tends to be more token efficient, but without a direct head-to-head benchmark, I can't call a clean quality winner. No direct benchmark means I can't hand this to either model on quality alone, and that's the honest limit here. The style difference is real though. Kimi K3's always-on thinking costs you tokens whether you need deep reasoning or not, while Claude's methodical approach lets you dial in only as much thinking as the task actually requires. Reasoning is another split. Different styles, no verified head-to-head data, so I'm not forcing a winner where the data doesn't support one. Running tally, Kimi K3, 1, Claude 0, 2, tied. So Kimi K3 is ahead on context, but pricing transparency and multilingual support are still on the table. And those two dimensions could completely change which model you actually ship with, especially if you're building for users who don't work in English, or you need to forecast your API bill before you commit to a stack. Test 4. API cost and pricing transparency. You've probably tried to plan a budget around a model and realized the pricing page just doesn't give you what you need. No per task cost, no cash token rate, nothing you can plug into a spreadsheet. That's not a minor inconvenience. It means your cost projections are guesswork, and guesswork at scale turns into overspend fast. Kimi K3's pricing is fully public. 3 bars Rs per million input tokens, 50 Rs R per million output tokens, 0 DAO 30 bars per million cached input tokens, and an effective cost of 0.95 per completed task according to artificial analysis. Every number is right there. For Claude, I went looking for a directly verifiable public source for any of those figures, and came up empty, so comparing them isn't something I'm willing to do on a number I can't confirm. The caveat is that community sources say Claude's pricing is roughly comparable to Kimi K3's, but roughly comparable based on unverified community data isn't something you can build a budget on. If you need a number you can actually plan around right now, Kimi K3 is the only one giving you that. And that transparency is itself a competitive advantage for any team watching their spend. I expected pricing to be an easy comparison, but Claude's opaque pricing makes a direct score impossible, so this one stays tied. I won't put a number on something I can't verify. Score: Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 3 tied. Test 5, multilingual support. If you're shipping a product to users in Spanish, Mandarin, or Arabic, you need to know whether the model degrades in those languages. Because a model that's great in English but drops quality in your user's language means your product just fails for a big chunk of your audience, and you won't even know it until the reviews roll in. I went looking for sourced multilingual benchmarks for both models and came up empty on scored data or comparative test results I could verify for either one. The directional signal from community sentiment is that Kimi K3 handles certain non-English languages well, but that's user anecdote, and if multilingual quality is a real requirement for you, you need to run your own test on your specific language. No verified data for either side means multilingual is a fourth tie, and I didn't expect this dimension to be a complete blank for both models. It's a real gap in what's publicly available. Final score: Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 4 tied. Kimi K3 wins on access and cost clarity. You get a standard 1 million token context window with no tier gating, flat pricing across the full window, a 92% automatic cache hit rate on coding workloads, and a fully public rate card. 3 moyas are per million input tokens, 15 moyas per million output tokens, 0.95 effective costs per task, numbers you can actually build a budget around. Claude wins on reasoning reliability and search polish. Its methodical, cautious reasoning style is genuinely better for safety-critical work. Where a wrong answer is expensive, the built-in web search comes with citations and domain-level filtering that Kimi K3 doesn't publicly match. And its extended thinking is tunable via prompts so you're not burning tokens you don't need. If you need 1 million tokens, flat pricing, and a rate card you can actually plan around, Kimi K3 is the call right now. It's the only one that tells you exactly what you'll pay, and if your work is safety critical and a wrong answer costs you real money, Claude's methodical reasoning is worth the pricing opacity. One thing that didn't make it into the formal tests, Claude's 1M token beta carries a latency penalty that Anthropic hasn't published numbers on. So even if you qualify for Tier 4, response time variability on very large contexts is a real operational risk you won't find documented anywhere before you commit to it. If this comparison got you thinking about how Kimi stacks up against OpenAI's model, I already ran that one, so check out Kimi versus GPT, which is better. And you'll see a very different result on the reasoning side that might actually change how you think about both of these tools.